I'm blessed. Thank you for being here.
All right.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be part of a group. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. I would like to introduce today's guest. Most of you all know me. I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't know me, but my English name is Michael Mitchell. Online, I'm known as Michael Akwese Mitchell on social media. My Tikar name is Nyeme. That's the name that the king of Boatikong gave me. Boatikong is one of the major Tikar kingdoms in the Tikar plain. Most people these days, they know of Bankim and Gambe Tikar and Magba. Those are when you do a search of Tikar online, you will see Bankim and Gambe Tikar and Magba. Magba is not a major Tikar kingdom, but it is a popular chiefdom because Magba is a major city between the Bamun area, Fumban, and Tikar plain. So to go from Fumban to the Tikar plain, you have to pass through Magba. So Magba borders the Tikar kingdoms and the Bamun kingdom in the West region. Brother Thomas here, he is along that route from Fumban all the way to Bankim. That road that passes Magba is going to pass Brother Thomas's village, chiefdom Mata.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to introduce Thomas. I don't want to mispronounce your last name, Thomas. Is it Govum? How do you pronounce it? Yes.
Gimvum. That's more like in Chika tongue, you call Gimvum.
Okay,
Gimvum
so
is
that's
like the red ant, the ant that can bite. Yes, Mvum. That's the ant. So they're very gentle and they can be very aggressive. It's called Mvum, Gimvum.
okay.
And then, yes, Toma. Then you say they'll call Tomasi in Tikari, Tomasi.
Okay.
Then in English,
So,
they'll say Thomas. Yeah.
So, Brother Thomas, we're going to give it to you to give everybody a brief history of the Tikar people and, a history of yourself, your chiefdom, and then we'll open up it up for questions from, the panel here, everybody that has joined us today. All right. So, Brother Thomas, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a brief history of the Tikar people?
Yeah. Okay, brother and sister, thank you guys, for me to be part of a meeting. My name is Thomas Njivum Jibri. My name is Njivum Jibri Toma. I was born in Mata. It's like a couple kilometers. It's not that far from Maba. When you go to the barrage, the Mape barrage is the biggest barrage of reserve of water in the whole Cameroon. So I was born there, and then I went to school in Bankim, also in Banyo. Banyo is like a head province of Adamawa, Banyo is like a subdivision. Because Ganre is like the whole state kind of. Then my grandfather was the chief of Mbembe. Mbembe is on other side of the Mbam. It's like 10 or 20 kilometers from Gambe Chika. So on both sides, I came from like a chief family. And my traditional name from the title is Gindub. I mean the Prime Minister of Chief of Mata. I might go back for another introduction back this year, that in February, March, yes. So briefly, that's my name. Then I went to school there. Then I did a fine art degree. I work with Peace Corps organization also. Yep. concerning the Chika, I'll just take like a brief about it, where the Chika origin. We are origin from Ganha. That's one of the daughter from Ganha kingdom. Just get out from Ganha, then came down from other in the village called now Banki was called Kimi. The tribe that came was Chumu because Chumu meant that we talk too much. That's why we like chum chum. Chum mean like make noise. Without chum nenu. Without chum, it means just making too much. That's why you hear the name Chumu. It means people that talk too much. Then that's how the queen that came there. She had so many kids, and some of the kids kind of divide. Some went to cross the Mbam and create different kingdom on that side, and someone crossed to northwest. This one that was Mbam also went to west, and the one that was Bankim went to Fumban to the Nun region and create Dan Sharayan. They created the kingdom of Fumban. Then the other ones created kingdom of Bafusam. So that's how you see the Tikar tribe is kind of like spread on that side. But we are semi-Bantu because we came from, I would say, from Sudan. We are semi-Bantu. Our ancestors came from Sudan on that side, then migrate in Gahan. Gahan is like a outside, couple kilometers from Gaundre. That's the head division of Adamawa province. If you are driving Gaundre, you can just take a motorcycle to Gahan. It's not that far. That's how I'll say that's the starting block of Chika coming down. I hope if that's a little bit of summarize the origin of Chika people.
Now, your chiefdom Mata, people have never heard of Mata. You know, everybody hears about Bankim and Gambe Tikar and Magba. Can you give them a brief history of Mata?
The Mata kingdom, it was more so there was after coming from the west province in Mata, in Maba, there was other also the influence was called Lignye, like the cousin or other chief just migrate. Because at that time there wasn't that barrage. It was just like a deep forest back on the day. So they crossed the river Mbam, Mbam, because it's the same the Mbam that you can divide Adamawa province and the west province. That Mape River. So they crossed the Mape River and they find like it was very nice for like hunting and fishing on that side because the Mape River was very long to Nigeria. That river go to Nigeria. So they arrive in that location that they create a kingdom. Then from generation to generation, they've been like growing inside the village. That's how. Then when the barrage come over, you have people migrate from other place and they create a small village called Barrage. It's like a big city now for fish. It's just like a fishing village. But that's how Mata grow up. It's almost like close to Maba now. That's how the village was created, but the descendant of king brothers.
I was told by another brother too. Maybe you could share it with these people. The original name of Mata.
It's Che.
Yes. Yeah, that's the original name of Mata because they recently had a festival and I saw the sign and it's spelled Tchie.
Yeah.
And
Even
I was
you
like,
put on GPS, on Google, you see Che, no Mata.
And I was told by one of the gentlemen from Mata that Mata was not the original name. It was Che, as you said. And Mata, he explained to me, was a Bamun word. Is that correct? Yes. So Mata is a Bamun word. I shared a video of JoJo Style in the chat room today. That video was shot in Mata. Yes. That video has the the king of Mata in that video. So if you want to see how Mata looks, you can go into the chat forum, the Grassfields chat forum, and I posted the video today of JoJo Styles. His video is shot in Mata, and you'll see.
Michael, your audio's off.
Probably mistakenly muted himself.
Yeah. His mute himself.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear
yes.
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't hear you at one point because you mistakenly unmute yourself. You can probably go back.
Oh, okay. So I think you missed probably everything I just said a minute ago, but Thomas, can you tell us what it was like growing up in the Tikar plane, in the Tikar kingdom?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to tell the meaning of che. Che means people that look. Che. Che means look. Because anytime they have like a stranger, they can recognize a stranger. But when people like look at a stranger, they kind of like they'll spend time. Now it kind of reduce a little bit with new generation, but when you're like a new stranger in the town, people gather together just to look at you. That's why the name came Che, like look. So I was born in Mata. And I grew up in Mata, then we moved in Banyo. Banyo is just up. It was just nice little town, no electricity, just everything like natural. Here we call it like, natural life. Then I moved in Banyo, went to college, high school, in college. Because in college, you go from class, education system is just different. Francophone education system is different. And I grew there. Like, we grow corn. Our main food was corn. We use corn in different form. We can boil them. We can make them become a flour. We call couscous. We grow like okra. Then you can fish. So meat, it wasn't too much. It was like privilege to have like a meat. We was like eating meat all the time, or chicken. Even like with most of people like raise chicken, it was just to make money. Having like a nice meal, like a good rice and chicken or beef, nice. It's like during like Christmas or New Year, that was the best day ever on our kid, our childhood. You can have whatever you want, eat good, and also having like a nice dress. It was just a Christmas that you can have. You see a lot of dress. So I grow most making. Yeah.
So like the signature meal of a Tikar, like when you're in a Tikar plane, what is like a signature meal that if you go to any Tikar chiefdom, they serve it a lot?
You have manzenga. Manzenga is the leaf of cassava.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rich in iron. Manzenga, they'll make that if there's no smoke, you used to like go in a river to fish. You're like a block bobs out of water or river, then you peel the water out. Then you put your hand in the hole, like grab catfish, whatever. So they will smoke it and they will keep it for the whole year. The kind of smoke, because there's no, we don't like preserve food. So that's why you have that. If you don't have that in the cassava leaf, and we'll use palm oil. Palm oil was made with, we have like a palm tree that you have to chop the tree down. Then people got to boil it's like a seed. They'll boil and then you'll smash it with the food. There wasn't like a machine now. People have like a machine now to press it. They should like smash that with food. Then you have this kind of when you press it, or you have this little base container that was built on the ground. Then you have all that water and the oil came on top. It's like a mousse. When you shake soup in the water, you have all that mousse on top. That's how the oil will come. You have to like take it, put in the pot, boil it, then became real oil. It became refined. That's how people was keeping that to like, for the meal for the whole year. That's how sustainable we're working. And also hunting was putting more trap because there wasn't too much gun. We don't use a lot of gun. We use a lot of trap in the bush. That's how life is like having like a survivor show.
Mhm.
That's our normal life. Just
Okay. Mhm.
you grow with the nature.
Yes.
Community,
You don't go. You
everything
don't
like
go to the supermarket and
no,
pick up
we don't have you
chicken.
don't have like a no. And the funny story, it was very challenging for me when I being out here for my first order the food on restaurant. I didn't like know how to like the burger. It was kind of some like even like a frozen chicken. I didn't like see the different. That was a frozen. That was being like the first contact in orders. New life was different because if you need something, you hold the chicken, you kill the chicken yourself. You
Yeah.
slaughter the chicken and you cook it. It's not you
Yeah.
go in the store, you buy frozen chicken. No.
Yeah. Everything is fresh.
Yes.
Hmm. I think I remember what I was talking about when I was muted. I just wanted to tell everybody that I shared. I don't know if you guys heard this. I shared a video of JoJo Styles in the chat forum, in the Grassfields chat forum. That video was shot in Thomas's village, Mata. So if you want to get an idea of what a Tikar village looks like and what his village of Mata looks like, that video that I shared earlier today, that's Mata.
I put it in the
And
chat
Juice,
as well.
and
Okay.
Juice is my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He's my dad's youngest brother.
Who, JoJo Styles?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have his DVD with all his videos on
Yeah.
it. It's very good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's very good. Very good
Yeah. Oh,
Cameroonian
he's a number
Tikar
one
artist.
in Tikar music in Cameroon. Yeah, he's a top.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to
So
listen to traditional music,
mm-hmm.
if you want to listen to how- the rhythm, the old rhythm, yes, because he plays something that is different dance in that song. You hear ngungang, loya, and also menungbung is kind of different type of ritual. It's called menungbung. It's not like you have to be initiated to dance that type of dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? We're going to open it up for people to ask Brother Thomas some questions.
What type of
Yeah.
spirituality, Thomas? I was trying to remember how you pronounced it in your dialect. I forgot what you said. Thomasine, I think you said.
Right for
Your first name. Did you say Thomas?
Gimvum,
No. How do you pronounce Thomas again?
Tomasi.
Tomasi. Tomasi, how do you all practice any spirituality in your village growing up?
Yes, yes. For us, we have this called Vanswap. I would say the colonization didn't teach us about God. We knew about God before because we knew that there's a supreme person that lives somewhere. We call him Vanswap. That's his name, Vanswap in Tikar. Vanswap.
Bansap.
That's the name. Vanswap.
Banswap. Okay.
Mvain. Mvain. Yes, swap.
Swap. Event swap.
Yes. Vain swap. Yes. That's the name of God in Tika. So the just because we have other ritual, we have Suti. Suti is like a harvest. Because Suti and Gain is more for the warrior festival. Suti is not to thank our ancestor for the food, for the because it always happen after the harvest. That's why it's called Harvest Festival. So it's to thank our ancestors for everything that they give us in our farm. It's called Suti. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay, Sister Zenova? Is it good?
Yes.
Any question?
With footy? Did you say
Suti,
footy?
yes, Suti. Suti.
With Switty. With
Yes.
Switty, do you do anything like every day or every week, or is there a certain time that you do Switty?
Yes, yes. It's only a certain time
Okay.
of the year. It's like a Thanksgiving here, but here they call Thanksgiving is more different. It's I'll kind of probably I try to put like a Thanksgiving because everybody thank Lord for the food, right? Yes, it's kind of like the same thing. But with Sudan now we have different activity, ritual dance, ceremony, to connect back with our ancestor.
They pour libations and they make offerings to the ancestors during the sweetie as well.
By any chance, do you do any skull rite as well?
Skull.
Like with Bamileke, they do where they honor the ancestors also through the skull, and they keep the skulls in the skull house. I'm just curious if Tikar does that too, to see if there's a connection.
Yeah, so Bamileke are our children. That's why when the king of Bamileke come in Bankim, he sit on the floor. The chief have to give him like a small, we call lo tabouret. It's like a small seat chair that they give the king of Bafusam to sit on top, because he cannot sit at the same level as the chief, only when the chief says so. And the ancestor hair crown, as you say, we use that, but only for the king. Or you have to be initiated to be in that bubble. Only for the king. You have to be in. But we have that in West Province. Some use like a family member. Like each family use that kind of. But in traditional tribe, it's more for the whole, the whole town. It's really, in French we call sacré. So it's not at any moment. And sometimes they can only return at that point if there's some kind of tragic situation happen in the village. Then at that time, we have to go straight. It's like an emergency situation. An emergency situation, then we can just refer. If not, it's period. It's every year. It's during that period. Yeah.
So the skull, the cult of the skulls, you're saying is mainly for the kings, people that are initiated into a certain society, and they're dealing with the skull.
It's a secret society. Yes.
Yes. But it's not every family.
No.
Not every family buries the skull of their. Yeah. Okay. So that's the difference between the Tikars and the Bamilikes with the cult.
I think they just extend it in for family. Normally, it was designed for only that purpose. People just extend it in West Pro. They kind of extend it a little bit.
Okay.
Even in Fumban, they do the same thing. Only the chief and the minister that initiate people that can, to gather and when there's a emergency or that situation.
So I noticed in every Tikar kingdom, they have to have a sacred tree.
Yes.
I recently found out through the Grassfields forum, because I didn't really know too much about the Bamileke, that they also have a sacred tree. I know in
Yes.
Fumban, they
Mhm.
also have a sacred tree. And I learned that a village is a chiefdom cannot be established without a sacred tree in that
Yeah.
chiefdom.
And also, I don't like call you the. Also, those chiefs cannot be stable if they don't come back in banking to receive a sacred water, to receive a holy water from the tradition. They have to come back. Like the
So
chief
you
of Fumban, Bafusam, they have to come back to receive that.
okay?
So
Mhm,
from they have to receive the, how do you call, the benediction for the ancestor before they
mhm.
can go back and govern the kingdom. Till now, it's still working because they never like caught they cannot do the connection. They cannot cut the relation between those kingdoms.
So from those chiefdoms that descend
Mhm.
from Ban Kim, like you're saying,
Yeah.
Fumban, Bafasam,
Mhm.
and
Ndu, uh,
Bafia, the chief of Bafia.
Bafia, yeah,
Mhm,
Bachibo.
uh-huh.
They're of Norwest, yeah.
Mhm. So they have to come back to Ban Kim to drink the waters of
Yes,
power, right?
yes.
In
They
Ban
have to
Kim.
receive it back. Yes.
Mhm.
Until
And
now, they still come back to a ritual.
yeah, to in order for them to govern their own kingdom.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions for Brother Thomas?
Yeah, I've got two questions, Brother Thomas. So I'm gonna first
Yes.
thanks for for being here and then to provide us with all the information. On the way, I'm learning a lot myself. I've never knew about so many things. I already kind of like listen now. So
Hmm.
my first question is that you say that the Chika, the Bamileke are the children of the Chika. What do you mean
Yeah.
by that? Can you explain?
So
Can you explain it?
I mean, like, also, so I'll take an example. A woman, when the lady left, one of the women from the chief in Gahan left in Gahan, came in banking. There was, I think it was 5 brothers. So one of the brothers went in West, went in the noon, created the Shara. He
Mhm.
created Fumban kingdom
Yeah.
with Jamdunke. Njamdunke. That's what they call in Bamboo because I speak Bamboo also. Njab. Njab means there's a Njamanjama,
Mhm.
Njamanjama. Njamdunke. That was one of the lady that they created that kingdom on that side. So it was brothers that create those kingdom.
Mhm.
It's like a woman with 5 kids. Those kids spread and try to create their own kingdom. It
Mhm.
was like all of them are related. They're all brothers.
Okay.
Mhm. Because it was easy for the chief to like spread those kids so it doesn't have like too much fight in the banking kingdom. So for him to like be a little bit of safe, you have to like give them land so they can, it's a parent that have so many kids, you have to like give land for different so you don't have like too much fight in your succession.
Okay. Okay. So
So
yeah,
they're all related.
I get what I mean. So that's my second question. So when I look and when you speak to a lot of people that say that the Bamileke came from Egypt, so would that mean that the Bamileke came from Sudan instead of Egypt? If the
Mhm.
Bamileke are children of Chika because the Chika was in Egypt, I don't know.
Yes,
So I would
yes.
be saying,
It's all the migration that happened, and then we started coming down.
yeah.
That's how we call
I
semi
just want
Bantu. And
I,
yeah,
I just want to
yeah,
add this right here. When they say that the ancestors of the Tikar migrated from the Nile Valley, Sudan is the Nile Valley.
yes.
Sudan and Egypt are the Nile Valley.
Now Valley, yes.
That was all one kingdom,
Okay.
thousands of years
Mm-hmm.
ago. Sudan and modern day Egypt was all
Mm-hmm.
the same kingdom. You had Upper and Lower Egypt. So
Yeah,
if you use Sudan or Egypt, it's basically
it was one.
interchangeable. Yes. You know,
Colonization just divided. It was a divide by colonization, by colonial.
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you for that, Brother Marco. Thank you. Thank you again.
It's the way you see like Adamawa province in Cameroon and our Adamawa province in Nigeria. You see that Yola is part of Cameroon, but you see a lot of people all under Adamawa province. They're all related, but it was just divide. It's like political boundary.
Yeah.
But if you go back, you see the family on both sides exist.
Just like the former vice president, what's his name again? He was born in Cameroon, but he's on the Nigerian side.
From Gabon, RDC.
Mhm.
Is it Centrafrique? The lady?
Whoa.
It was the old lady in
Former
Centrafrique.
vice president of Nigeria.
Oh,
Name again. He's actually Fulani from maybe Hausa from Adam. He was born in Adamawa, and then when they actually had a referendum, so the part where he was born became part of Nigeria, but on his birth certificate is still born in Cameroon, former Cameroon. Yeah, Adamawa, former Cameroon. I think his name is. He was Obasanjo vice president.
Oh, the former Olusegun Obasanjo.
Atiku. I think it's Atiku.
Atiku. Okay, yeah.
He's actually standing for president on the next election.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Because most of my classmates in Banyo, because I studied more in Far North, most of my classmates they work in Nigeria. So some of them work in Nigeria, some of them work in Cameroon. Most of them all I meet in Cameroon, they have like a both identification.
So Mata, is it in what administrative subdivision in Cameroon? Is it in the Adamawa or is it?
No, it's in West Province.
Okay.
So it's the Noon, because you have this river divide the Adamawa and the West Province. It's called the La Mape River.
Okay.
That Mape River go back and fall to the Mbam River.
Okay.
Then Mape also, you can go from Mape straight in Nigeria. Because we're very close, you can go from there to Nigeria, you can go from there to Northwest. You just cross the river and you can go Sabongari, other side, you can just go straight.
Okay.
So, you know, from the colonial times, the Tikar plain was divided up. So now you have Tikar kingdoms that fall into different regions.
Different regions.
Although they are the same people. So they all kind of just flow into each other. Like from the West region all the way into the Adamawa region. They're the same people, but when the colonial government divided up Cameroon, they divided up a lot of the indigenous Tikars that were living there. So now they fall into different regions.
Different region. Because it was back then, it was just it was just one kingdom. So there was a kingdom, then you have like a kid with, it's like an administration, different kingdom. When everything divide now, then that's why that's like, you know, become autonomous a little bit. Kind of autonomous, but it's still like in the traditional way, they still have their own headquarters in banking. But the administration side, they have their own region.
I wanted to
have administration side. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add this because what set this conversation off was the Sudan and Egypt.
Yeah.
Information about the Tikars and the Bamalikes coming out of the Nile Valley. All of those are like Sudan and Egypt. All of those are artificial borders, as we mentioned before. If you go into Sudan, there are more pyramids in Sudan than they are in Egypt.
Yes.
And if
but people doesn't know that.
And if you look at the carvings and all the artwork, you're dealing with the same deities, Amun-Ra and all those different Kemetic deities. They're the same deities in Sudan that they're dealing with in Egypt or ancient Kemet. You know, in ancient times, you had the upper and the lower Kemet. That's all Egypt and Sudan is. So
that's what happened.
argument. Yeah. So the argument, are they from Egypt or are they from Sudan? It's the same place.
It's the same place. It's like I did my DNA last time. I'm 50% Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 50% Nigerian.
Mm-hmm. Because the borders,
what is the other
borders are right there.
Yes.
50% Nigerian and 50% what? Cameroonian, according to the DNA?
No, sub-Saharan region. So it's kind of come at the same thing that we're just talking.
Let me explain this to the brother Moncom and guests. Brother Thomas is DNA tested. He took the test with living DNA, which gives you different results than 23andMe and different results than Ancestry.com.
Mm-hmm.
So if he would have tested with Ancestry.com, his DNA would probably say Cameroon, Congo, and Nigeria.
Yes.
Being that it's living DNA and they don't have Cameroon, Congo as a category, it probably his results probably say more Nigeria. With 23andMe, it would probably say more Nigeria as well. You know, so it depends on the different DNA testing companies that people test with. Because I've tested multiple people I've tested someone from Thomas's village as well.
Mm-hmm.
And his DNA came up 100% Cameroonian from his same village. And I've tested other Cameroonians, Bamalikes and Tikars, and their DNA was either 100% Cameroon, Congo, or in the high 90-something percent. So Brother Thomas, he's DNA tested. His kit is on GEDmatch for all those who are looking for their relatives. His kit is on GEDmatch. But Thomas tested with living DNA, which is why his DNA would say mostly Nigerian.
Thank you for a clarification.
You're welcome.
But question, is there any DNA test to confirm the relationship between the Bamalikes, Tikar, and the Sudanese or Egyptians? Because this could be done with DNA as well, right? Is there anything in that direction?
Well, from the Tikars that I've tested and the Bamalikes that I've tested, I haven't in the kits that I manage, I haven't found any of them to be related to anybody Egyptian. But the thing is, you have to have Egyptians and Sudanese take the test in order to find out. So if they're not in the database, there's no way of knowing. The more people that test from these places, the better the accuracy of finding out that type of information. So somebody from Sudan could test tomorrow and come up as his cousin when he gets the results. But if you don't have a lot of people from Sudan in the database, it's too hard to tell. But from the Cameroonians that I've tested, most of the Tikars that I've tested, even though they're from different chiefdoms, I find that a lot of them are related, you know, because they share ancestry through Bankim or Naganha.
Ngaha?
Yes, yes.
I think Brother Justin got a question.
Yes. Good. I would say afternoon, everyone. My question is in regards to the defense of the village. I'm just wondering who were the the protectors of the village, or were there any warriors that you recall
Yeah.
growing up or still there today?
Yes. So Chicap, I'll say Chicap people are they're very warrior, and also they're very artistic, because you see in front of you large bronze. The bronze art. It was one Chicap was very famous on the bronze art and the artistic why. That's why our grandchildren, Fumban, use that part to create more art in that side, because Chika people was more focused on fighting instead of artistic side. Then Bamon took that part to become more bronze one. You see, if you go like a different part of Chika region, you see a lot of trench that was built. You have the first trench, you have a second trench, because at that time there was this religion war with there was a very conquering Muslim fighter. His name was Usman Dan Fodio. Usman Dan Fodio. He's the one that conquered all the Adamawa region. So he was a Muslim. He tried to bring more Muslim in the religion. So we create that region. Coming down down the hill, because most of Chika in Banki is plain. It's a plain. So we create more trench. That's how we fight them, and they run back up on the hill. You see a lot of trench in all villages. So we're very warrior. Chika are very, very warrior at that point. That's how we gain the village called Chumu. That Kimi. So because we migrate from Ngaha, we came down, we took over Chumu. Because there was a tribe in Banking before we came. So that's how we took over. Then we spray now in other region. Because when the king's son left to create other kingdom, they have to fight for that land. That's how they create those other parts.
I just want to add that the trenches over, if you go to Ngambe Tikar today, you could visit the trenches over there in Ngambe Tikar. And when Usman Dan Fodio invaded over there, it was the trenches that stopped the spread of Islam to Ngambe Tikar. If you notice, if you go to the Tikar kingdoms, you notice a lot of the kingdoms like Bankim and those kingdoms in that area, most of them are Muslim. But then when you get to places like Ngambe Tikar and Entem, a lot of them are Christian. And that's because during that time they had the warfare with the trenches, the Tikars stopped the advancement of Usman Dan Fodio and the warriors that were following Usman Dan Fodio, stopped them from spreading Islam into certain areas of the Tikar Plain. That's why certain areas of the Tikar Plain you have mostly Muslims, and in certain areas you have Christians.
I see.
And Adamawa before was called Fumbina. That was the name of Adamawa before Usman Dan Fodio, created Adamawa region. It was called Fumbina. Yeah.
And I just want to follow up with more about the war. These warriors, are these organized units? Are certain people picked out to be a warrior, or is it just when the village is under attack, everyone picks up the arms and everyone fights for the village?
It was organized. Because we have physical war and spiritual war. Because spiritual war is more initiate people can transform themselves to fight. Only the initiation can see those people fighting, because there will say people that have two eyes cannot see. That's another expression. You have to have 3 eyes to see those people fighting. So it was very organized society. And that's why even now you still have, even now in the Ministry of Kingdom, you all have people that design, for administration, law, war, if they have like some kind of like a law situation, even till now, it's still organized that way. So it's like having like a whole government, but in traditional way. Yeah. That's why even now, the modern administration they use kingdom as an auxiliary administration. If they want to do something, you have to go through the king before they can give the information. If not, it won't work. Some place you see the king is more powerful than administration size. So yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Is Zenobia got her hands up? I don't know.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to address something.
Yeah.
When we say we're from, we have this percentage of Nigeria or this percentage of Cameroon, I just want to remind people that those percentages are merely what matches with your family relative who lives in those countries today. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are from Nigeria. It just means that the people who live in those countries today have the DNA that matches yours. Because I think that's important to say, because and I keep making this argument over and over. It's really not an argument, but I keep stating this fact over and over because that's the way the DNA companies say it to us. They don't say that you're from this place and you're from that place because you obviously were born where you were born. However, because of colonization, a lot of the new country names have changed. And I think that's very important that we are careful in stating this information when sharing it with others so that people will stop saying that they're from here and they're from there. Your relatives live there today, but that might not necessarily be where they were at the time of whatever, but more than likely they were because migration patterns show that they ended up there or what have you. But I just like to, make sure we're saying that. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I
also have I have a sad story because my great grandmother, I saw my great grandmother when she was still alive, and she told me the story about how all her brothers and sisters were sold on slavery. And she was kept on her mom's side because she was still like melting. She was still a little baby. That was how she was kept. She was like so, because she was still a tiny baby and she was like, on her mom's chest. All her brother and sister was so. So my great grandmother always used to step in, tell her about the story, what when it used to happen back in the day.
Wow.
I saw her. I still have a picture somewhere if I go in my stuff back on the day, where she was already in that she was, when we were too little, she used to tell her those story. That her brother and sister was also.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So the brother Thomas has found relatives here in that are living here in America. And so Tikars, and I do manage a lot of the DNA kits for Bang Kim, and the Tikars do have a lot of relatives out there in the diaspora in America and in the Caribbean. One thing about these DNA testing companies I want to mention as well, they're only as good as their database. They can't tell you that you're Cameroonian if they don't have Cameroonians tested in their database to compare the DNA to. So Cameroon and Nigeria are very close together, and the DNA, a lot of the DNA looks similar to them in their database. So a lot of companies that don't have Cameroon in their database, excuse me, that don't have Cameroon in their database, their results will say Nigeria. But the best way to find, the best way to learn if you have Cameroonian ancestors or Nigerian ancestors with these companies is through their relative matching. Companies like 23andMe, Ancestry.com, Living DNA, and all those companies that provide your relative matches. That's the best way to learn about one of the best ways to learn about your African family and the actual village you come from. AfricanAncestry.com, the Black-owned DNA testing company. They test your maternal and your paternal line only. And that makes up only about 2% of your DNA. So when
it's actually a lot less, it's 0.1%.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, it's a lot less. But actually, when you're testing with Ancestry.com and you're getting an ethnicity estimate, and you may say, all right, my African ancestry test says 100% Tikar or Bamileke of Cameroon. That does not mean that you're 100% Tikar or Bamileke. That means that you matched a sequence they have in their database of a Bamileke or Tikar 100%. It was a 100% match. It does not mean that you're 100% Tikar or Bamileke. That 1 to 2% of DNA, if you test with Ancestry.com, some people say, oh, those companies don't know what they're talking about because I tested with African ancestry and it says 100% Tikar from Cameroon. And they're telling me that I have 50% Ivory Coast, Ghana, or Benin, Togo. They're not wrong. It's just that they're presenting your total genetic makeup in a different way. You know, for instance, most of my African DNA is Nigerian, but I do have Cameroon, Congo. That's like my second highest percentage of African DNA, I believe, is Cameroon, Congo. And that percentage of Cameroon, Congo doesn't mean that all that percentage is from Cameroon. Cameroon, Congo could be Gabon. It could be Sao Tome and Principe. It could be Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola. All of those countries will give you the result Cameroon, Congo on Ancestry.com. I believe 23andMe has a Congo category, but then, you know, a company like Living DNA, it would say Nigeria, most likely say Nigeria. So that's the, you know, some of the differences with the companies. So when you test with African ancestry, like my father's maternal line says 100% match with the Bamileke, Tikar, and Hausa of Cameroon, that does not mean that my father's mother was 100% from Cameroon. You know, my father's ethnicity estimate from Ancestry.com is predominantly Nigerian. He's like 38% Nigerian or something like that. And then he does have Cameroon, Congo in there. You know, these companies are not wrong. They're just looking at different data with your DNA, and the information they give you is only as good as their database. African ancestry may say, oh, they have the largest database of African DNA, but they don't have all of the DNA of Africa. I've found African cousins from ethnic groups that are not in the African ancestry database, you know, but they may fall under a generalized ethnic group with African ancestry. You know, let's say like if they give you a Tikar result, 100% match with which Tikar group did they test? Because a Tikar is mainly like basically a blanket term. It may not be somebody from Bankim or one of those Tikar kingdoms over there. It could be someone from the Northwest that when they did the DNA testing, They call themselves Tikar. So it's not cut and dry clear. Those results are not cut and dry clear. You know, I've found, was it 3 Tikar cousins? Three Cameroonian cousins, I'm sorry. 2 Tikar cousins. One from Boatikong, which happens to be the village that received me. I tested a brother from Boatikong, and he came up as a match to my mother. Now, my mother did not have Tikar, or my mother did not have Tikar results with the African ancestry test. So what's up with that? How come, you know, my mother's DNA went back to the Upper Guinea region, from Guinea-Bissau all the way down to Liberia, but yet my mother has a Tikar Cameroonian cousin, and my mother also has a cousin who is half Bamun and half Bamileke. So you really can't look at those results from African ancestry as cut and dry. That's where all my ancestors are from. My mother's predominantly, I believe, Benin, Togo. My mother has a lot of airway matches on her side, but she does have Igbo relatives. She does have relatives that are Edo, and she has relatives that are from the Bamun. One is a Bamun princess, but she's half Bamileke from Bayanga. And
Bayangam.
Yes, and I just so happen, my mother just so happens to match someone from Boatikong, the Tikar kingdom that received me when I went to Cameroon. That right there, I must say, has to be the ancestors at work for me to be received there. And then when I tested him and I looked at the matches, my mother came up in the match list. That was, you know, that's definitely the divine at work with this reconnection thing. I believe the ancestors was working to put me at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, they always like push you some way. You don't know why.
Exactly. And one DNA test is not better than the other. They're all just telling you different information. Does anybody else have any other questions for Brother Thomas?
I just have one more question for you, Brother Thomas. I'm curious about, as I'm trying to understand African societies more, how was law and order maintained in the village, such as, I guess what I'm asking, such as if someone commits a crime, say a thief, or I don't know, any crime that is violated in the village, like are you calling the Cameroonian police, or are the rules established and maintained by such as the king or the chief, or how is that handled in the village?
So as I said last time, the chief is in administration auxiliary. So when something happens, so let's say there's a situation between 2 people in a village, you have to go report to the chief first. Only if the chief cannot resolve the issue, he can pass on now to administration, but he's the one to decide to pass on. Because sometimes if there's some kind of like a situation in a village and you go straight to the administration, sometimes the administration is going to send you back to see the chief. If they can resolve that traditionally, then you'll be resolved. Then you're going to receive a sentence or punishment, or they're going to like tell you to pay something, some kind of tribute. So it always worked that way. So till now, the administrative society, the traditional rule is still recognized by the administration. Yeah.
Now, when you have crimes such as thefts of like someone's animals or something like that, the chief is not going to make, the chief can make a decision on that, but the chief may designate somebody like one of the notables to handle those type of affairs.
Yeah, but even with sometimes with the land issue, people have like, if you can sell, even now when you sell, you buy a land in the village, the chief have to assign someone to go to the land and check the land. And when you buy the land, you have to come back for the chief to sign a documentation that you pay the tribute for that land also. Then administration recognize the chief signature on your land document. And you can buy a land for an administration, the chiefs can say no, and he won't go far further than that. So, and they also have different people like that design that the chief designate to resolve those issues.
Thank you.
Gama chak si lo pe puma.
Oh, hamgoka.
Papa, ya piano. Papa. Bobo, yamela.
Ah. So comment, membre?
No, ça va. Sorry, everybody. I was late because I was in the gym. You know what I mean? With this COVID thing, we can't. We gotta go outside. Yes. The conversation is great, man. I just wanted to maybe, if you may allow me to add something onto your answer, brother. What our brother Justin asked, it's actually very important because a lot of people are asking, a lot of people are wondering, especially here, even back home in Cameroon or all over Africa, like how do our ancestors were managing us, right? Especially that we had no prison. What was the system law? What were they applying in the villages and in communities? So these are the questions that always come back. And I understand that it's, if you're not really in tune with the elders for them to explain to you, you might not actually have an idea how it was done. I just wanted to bring one point over here. The way we see administration today, that's not the way our ancestors were seeing. Now, for those who read the Bible, it says at the beginning was the word, right? So you got to understand that the word was actually what was bound into each other, right? So this is why even when you will marry a woman, your father is going to ask you, son, are you allowing me to eat this color nuts? Because as soon as I eat this color nuts, that's it. You give me your word.
It's sealed.
It's sealed. Like literally, that's your word is the contract. It's not a paper. It's your word. That's a contract.
It's a word.
Right? Yes. So I just want to say that, let's say if it was a fight over a land, for instance, right? This person says mine, this other person says mine, right? So you guys, both of you guys have your word. So in the Bamileke region, they would take you in a room. My brother, I know you know about the Kaji.
Yeah, of course. In
Kaji, right?
In Chika, we call Mbe.
So I'm gonna explain to my brothers and sisters what's the Kaji. So this is actually a very spiritual drink that the secret chamber of the palace is gonna make it, and they're gonna bring you in this secret room, and they're gonna ask you if you believe it's yours, if you truly believe that you're not lying. Sit over here around all these masks, and there's usually a calabash with water inside. They ask you to say your word, and you must really say because you're saying the truth. And then once you finish saying it, you must drink it, and they're going to tell you, if you lie, you have 7 days to be punished. But that's a punishment in a spiritual level where your spirit in your own conscience is going to punish you to the point where if you were lying, it had happened that some of those people were getting some very, very bad sickness. Or some of them will actually end up dying. Yes. So therefore, these kind of like justice were really feared by people to the point where if you know you're lying, please don't get in our room. You better tell the truth. You know what I mean? So these are the kind of system we're using, and we didn't need any prison. or we didn't need any kind of investigation where you have a so-called, I don't know, investigator coming to the scene, taking notes.
Yeah.
No, it was a spiritual investigation, because
Yes.
you know, brothers and sisters, you can lie to me, you can lie to all of us, but you cannot lie to your spirit, you cannot lie to your conscience.
Yeah.
So that's where they were catching you in your own self. So that drink has that kind of power to really make to punish you, because in the room that they take you, there are some spirit in there that guide to really go against what you are saying, because you know you're lying to yourself. Now, certain villages still do this. What I'm telling you right now, certain village in the west region still doing this. So brother Justice, so these Justin, these are the kind of like system that we will use. And also, before I maybe finish, I just finish my point over here, is that it wasn't just about you. Let's say I'm lying. I must know that if I lie, or if I steal somebody, if I go to somebody's house and I steal the good, right? Now, when I was stealing the good, nobody saw me doing it, right? Nobody saw me. Okay. Now they're trying to look for somebody, the person who did it. Obviously, I say I didn't do it, but I know I did it. Now, the thing is, me saying I didn't do it, if they catch me, it's my whole family that's going to be looked bad. It's not just me. So because I lied, now my sister might not even get married. That's how heavy it was, because they're going to say, oh, he comes from that family.
The family of chief.
Exactly. So your action now is going to condemn all your brothers and sisters. I mean, I'm talking about your blood relative. So these are the kind of like virtues and mindset that these indigenous African had. This is why it was very, very, very less of those different problems. I'm not saying that it was not existing, but because of those system based on your word and also spiritual, I would say, practice, it was very, 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 very less of it. And unfortunately, we have lost it. And now we have been trained to go about the white man way, where we need to pay a lawyer that's going to be charging so much money
and also
to come and defend us.
All that situation.
Exactly, in corruption. Thank you. So, brother, I hope I answer your question. So, I mean, I just added to what my brother said. Thank you.
You know, when I was in Ghana, going back to the sins of a particular person or crime going on over to her family, when I was in Ghana, I saw them sacrificing a ram. And I asked them why they were sacrificing the ram. And they said that someone just passed in their family that committed a serious offense, and they had to sacrifice the ram in order to make amends for that offense on a spiritual level. So
yes,
the
brother,
family does not want to be affected by the sins of one person.
And that's only one step. That's not done. After sacrificing that, they have to now seek to compensate.
Okay. Yes.
All that compensation.
Right.
Does anybody have any other questions for Brother Thomas?
Yes. When it comes to marriage, what are some of the Tikar customs to it?
For the marriage?
Yes.
Okay, for the marriage, if we try to go back in traditional way, because more time like new generation try to like copy more modern way. The marriage is when you see you have you get in touch with the girl, you got like dating. You have to go ask the hand of a girl to his parent. Sometimes you go with a lot of palm wine, color nut, gallon of of palm oil, just to ask the hand. Like in French we call that fiancé now, right? That's how you ask a lady's hand. That's a kind of thing. Then when you arrive there, you don't talk. You have to have all your youngest brother or one of your relatives that can talk for you, because you cannot open your mouth in front of your mother-in-law. That is forbidden.
Oh wow.
Even your mother-in-law talk to you, you just shake your head, and another person has to respond on your place. You don't have in Chicago we call it shiwum. Shiwum. And also your wife, your girlfriend at that time, when it became your wife, she cannot talk to your dad.
Okay.
Even your dad talk to her, she can shake her head, but to hold down, to make her talk to the dad had to buy a big fabric, traditional fabric. Early in the morning, he will come in you guys' house and hold your wife's mouth. That's an expression, hold your wife's mouth. Then now your wife can talk now to his father-in-law. That's a tradition.
After how long can they do that?
So that's it. When they got that's when they get married. Because when you ask the hand first, then the male gonna don't talk to the mother-in-law, and when he has the hand with other issue, and then when the mom accept and the women accept, then they'll drink palm wine now, and then they'll start preparing for the marriage. Now for the marriage, you have to people are gonna give you what to bring. They can ask for gold, for land, for fabric, from different kind of thing that they can ask for the we call it like dot. How do you call dot in English? I like to find the name. The dowry, yes, the dowry. You have to bring. Yeah. So that time, even at that time, your wife cannot talk. She cannot talk straight to your dad, because when you guys, let's say you guys are talking somewhere and your dad is coming over, the wife have to go in the room. She'll stop talking. She can just shake the head to say yes or no. So after the marriage, the dad now can prepare and buy some expensive fabric, come in the morning, early in the morning at home, knock the door, and then hold your wife's mouth with that fabric. So that's how the traditional wedding work. And then the same with the mom with the son-in-law. It's called shimum. In Chicago, they call shimum.
So your girlfriend cannot speak to your father, and you cannot speak to her mother. But are you able to speak with her father, or do you have to be silent also?
Yeah, you can speak with the father, but with certain bundle with your father-in-law. I mean, okay. But you cannot speak with your mother-in-law. It's disrespectful to to have that communication. It's very more deep tradition.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why is it seen as disrespectful? I don't understand.
No, it's not like I didn't use the correct. It's not like disrespectful. It's just to give that value, that respect to the family, to the mother-in-law. The same as your wife give that respect to you, to the father-in-law.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, the disrespect, I mean, it's not, I get what my brother is saying, but basically, if you want to understand this, is because, that woman is not my wife yet. So therefore, I'm limited. I'm not even talking about touching her. I'm limited even to address her parents. So this is why I must bring one of my big brother or sister, or even bring my own parents or my uncle to speak, to negotiate for me. Because, somebody's daughter is actually like a proud, it's and me as a man, I must be a productive man. If I'm not productive, there is no way. I could be the cutest man in the world, but if you're not productive, they're gonna kick your ass. So yeah, because now the father of the woman, right? He's about to give a daughter to you, to me, to become now like her father, because I'm supposed to take care of her. So this is why, you know, unless you get the okay, you are limited on how you talk to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't want to
know if you-
monopolize, but I have another question.
Yes.
I understand that there are 7 Tikar kingdoms. Is that, do you all still follow the 7? And is there one that's more prominent in terms of managing all the kingdoms over the others?
No, we are connected with, that's what I say before that, because we divide by administration system, we now connect with a traditional rule that the main kingdom is banking.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Let
when
me
you go
just say
to
this.
when you go like administration rule, you'll see like a Fumba have like a premier degree. Because in Cameroon it's go by degree. Degree 1, degree 2, degree 3. That's a kingdom. That's the Mark kingdom in Cameroon.
Those degrees are set up by the government.
Administration,
Now,
yes.
Yes. Each Tikar kingdom, like Bankim, Bandam, Nietzsche, Entem, and Gambi Tikar, they're all autonomous, self-governing. The king of Bankim cannot tell the king of Ngambi Tikar what to do in Ngambi Tikar.
Yeah.
All of those kingdoms are autonomous.
Autonomy, yeah.
You know, yeah. They do have a council of Tikar kings. You know, they have a council, and I believe at the moment the king of Entem is the president of the Tikar Association.
Yes.
The president of the Tikar Association of Kings. So, but Bang Kim is usually considered the foundation because Bang Kim, the original name of Bang Kim is Kimmy Woo. That's not
Kimmy.
Kimmy. Bang Kim is basically like, you would say, like almost like the district that Kimmy is in. And I lost my train of thought, but the bottom line is it's considered the foundation because according to Tikar oral tradition, Kimmy is where the Boom princes and princesses, when they first settled, set up their first settlement. Now, you also have other Boom princes and princesses that made that migration out, you know, that set up other kingdoms too, like Boatikong was set up by another Boom prince, another Boom prince. So the same prince that set up Kimmy did not, you know, set up Boatikong. And you also had a princess that founded Bandam. None of those kingdoms can tell any of those other kingdoms what to do, you know. But traditionally, Kimmy or Bang Kim is considered the foundation. But as I said before, and I have to stress it, the king of Bang Kim cannot tell the king of Bandam what to do. And none of those other all those kingdoms are autonomous. And like I said before, they do have a council, you know, the Tikar Association of Kings, and the king of Bang Kim is not the president of the Tikar Association of Kings. The king of Entem is the president of the Tikar Association of Kings. A lot of them have high respect for the king of Bang Kim because you have like kingdoms like Nietzsche, even though it's an autonomous kingdom, the founder of Nietzsche was the brother of the king of Kimi years ago. So that's where they have that connection right there. And when Nietzsche was having problems, when the people were against the king of Nietzsche, they went to the king of Bang Kim for him to give them a new king. So you know, a lot of these kingdoms are related, you know, and but they're all autonomous kingdoms. Like Mata is an autonomous chiefdom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got a question, brother. Is it Tomasi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a question. I mean, I was reading somewhere, and it says that Chikalaje mean that get out of here. So obviously it means that Chikalaje? Chinkala. Okay, mean get out of here. So what's the story about it? So according to what I was reading, one of the Chika.
Yeah, the story happening in Gaha. That story happened in Gaha. That happened in Gahan Kingdom. Then the other queen here, Tinkala. They were thinking that like, you know, get rid of them. That's why he ran from Gaha, then came down. They run at night.
Okay.
What was that's how the word Tinkala came from.
What was the force to run? What was the reason behind that?
So it was like when you have like a kingdom, you have so many kids. Then it became like a fight again, we're gonna govern.
A succession problem.
Succession problem. When there's a group create inside between princes, like, okay, let's get rid of this guy. He might be the one that is the chosen. Let's get rid of him. Then get rid of him can be like, you know, kill him or do whatever. If somebody hear that, you'll be like, hey, you know, right now, it's not good for you. The only way is to get out.
Okay.
That's a word in color. Okay. It's boom. As in Gaha.
Okay.
I can't wait to meet with you in Cameroon. I'm going to drive you some places.
Now, there are different versions of the Tikar formation of the Tikar people. One version you have a Wotan who wanted to go into the sacred house.
Princess Wotan.
Yeah, Princess Wotan, who wanted to go into the sacred house as a woman, who was not allowed to go into the sacred house. And that was one version of, she got upset because she was not allowed to go into the sacred house. And they left. And then she had people that followed her. That's one version. There's also another version.
It's kind of like she rebelled to get away.
Yes. There's another version that I read about Klo, a Boom prince named Klo, who slept with the Balaka. You know, the king of the Boom is called Balaka. He slept with the Balaka's wife. And Klo was told to get out of here. And then people followed him and set up their a settlement. So there are different versions of how the Tikars were founded. Most of those stories seem to be fables, you know, almost like what do you call it? kind of along the lines of mythology,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that they've come to an agreement that the Wotan story is the legitimate story. One Tikar I was talking to told me he's not even sure Wotan even really existed. But since everybody agrees upon that story, that's the story that I find to be the most popular and to be the most accepted. Now, the Tikar people is a combination of the Boom, the Tumu, the indigenous Tumu people that lived in the Tikar plain before the Boom arrived there, and there were some other ethnic groups that are mixed in there too. It's not just the Boom and the Tumu.
The Bute also.
Yes. So it's complex. The Wotan story and all these other
it's very
stories
complex.
are simplified stories. Simplified stories. You know, it's more complex than just the Boom and the Tumu, than the Tumu people. You know, and then you have some that will tell you that the Tikars migrated from Yemen. You know, and then went down to Sudan, and then down to their present location in Cameroon. But you'd have to see it like this as well. You know, when they talk about the migration, they go back 900 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, from the when they were in Yemen or when they were in Sudan or Egypt or whatever, what were their names then?
Yeah.
They were not called Tikars then. So you can't
Tikar,
say
yeah.
the Tikars migrated from Yemen because they didn't exist
You
then.
can. Yes.
That's why I always try to tell people it's better to say the ancestors of the Tikar, some of the ancestors from the Tikar migrated from Sudan
From that
or
part, yes.
Nile Valley or Yemen. You can't say the Tikars migrated from there because they didn't exist until they intermarried with the Tumu and formed their own people they call the Tikar. Did I say it correctly? Did I spread any misinformation?
No.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? For those who weren't here, I'm wearing my Northwest dress today. This is not the traditional dress of the Tikar. For those who weren't here in the beginning, the traditional dress of the Tikar is made from wood and plant fiber from the tree. What is the tree called? Gaba? How do you say the name of the tree that they make yes.
Gaba, yes.
That's the tree that they make the traditional Tikar dress from. It's made from wood and plant fiber. And that's where you get the name Magba from.
They kind of jump it. It became more soft. Then it's like model.
And that's where the name of the chieftain Magba comes from. It comes from that tree that they use to make the traditional dress of the Tikars. So what I'm wearing right now is not the traditional dress of the Tikars, because I know when a lot of people come or when they find out their ancestry, they want to get this Togo. The Togo attire originates in actually it would be today's modern day Nigeria with the Bali people. This is where the Togo dress comes from. You know, Tikars also Tikar could wear this, you know, because it's widely accepted, and Tikars also wear the endop cloth, like what you see Babalike is wearing. Tikars could wear that as well. When I was in the when I came to Ban Kim, and I said to one of the Tikars, I said, they may find it, you know, disrespectful or strange that I'm here wearing my Bamileke shirt, you know, the endop cloth. And the Tikar said, no, Tikars wear that too. So, you know, the endop cloth and this tire is acceptable, but this is not the traditional dress of the Tikars in like Bankim, Magba, Nietzsche, Bandam. This is not the traditional dress of the Tikars. But if you want to look cultural and buy something from Cameroon, you could buy the Togo in any market in Cameroon, like in Douala or Yaoundé. You could buy one of these. The dress that the Bamilekes wear, I usually don't see it in Douala, but you can find it definitely in the West region at one of the markets in the Bamileke area in the West region.
I have a question, Brother Michael.
Yes.
If I can. Okay, I get a little confused when we talk about the Bamilekes and the Tikar, because I'm under the impression that we're all as one. We started out as Tikar, but they later branched out and ended up being the Bamileke. Is that not true?
Yes, that's true. But the Tikars and Bamilekes are related. You know, they have their roots in how do you say it, Thomas? Naganha?
Gaha.
Yes, Gaha. They all have their roots in Gaha. They migrated and settled in Kimi, which is today called Bankim. And then you have some of the princes and warriors that migrated out and founded different chiefdoms. So that's how you have a lot of those chiefdoms in the Northwest, and Fumban, you know, the headquarters of the Bamun Kingdom. And Sharian was a prince of Kimi. So, and the founder of Bafasam was a prince of Kimi as well. You know, Bafia, was it from Kimi or Bankim that the founder of Bafia came, or was it Ditam?
No, they all came from Bankim. Because they crossed, some of them crossed
was
the bank.
a prince as well from Bankim.
So it's safe to say, you can say, is it safe to say you say you're Tikar and Bamileke? Because you're pretty much the same.
Yeah, they are the same. And my DNA results, you know, when I tested my father, my DNA results says Bamileke, Tikar, and Hausa. That's from one result. So my DNA results confirm that there are Bamilekes and Tikars that share the same DNA.
Gotcha.
That's
Thank you.
my result on my African ancestry certificate. Bamileke, Tikar, and Hausa. You have Hausa villages near Tikar villages as well. You have a lot of Fulani villages near Tikar.
Yeah, like me, I speak Fulani.
Yes,
speak Fulani.
A lot of Tikars speak Fulani. Like when you say jam and stuff like that, those are Tikars say that. That's a Fulani word.
So I have my hand raised because I wanted to ask, do we have a picture of what the Tikar outfit looks like that came from the tree that you were talking about?
Yes, I will post it in the forum, in the Grassfields forum.
Thank you.
The King of Boatikang gave me one, and I have numerous pictures of various Tikars wearing the traditional dress that's made out of wood and plant fiber. But the women don't wear that. The women wear more of
understood
like a wrap. Yeah. that's just mainly the Tikar males.
It's more rap
And
for
since
women.
you brought it, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
No, it's more rap for women because the dress, how the design is look, it's more designed like a warrior. I don't know how I can explain that. The design is, I think, it won't be comfortable more for women. So that like if they want to wear that, they have to put something inside. But most of the time, it's more for male.
You will find that in a lot of Tikar chiefdoms or villages, the women may wear a wrap and they may be topless, you know. But these days, you will see a woman wearing something to cover the top or a bra.
Yeah. It used to be topless.
Yes, you know, but nowadays the women will wear a bra. But years ago, they did not have, like, let's say, you know,
all that thing.
Traditional outfits that they make and that's commercialized, like the like they do the Togo and everything like that. You know, they wore before they had cloth, they had like the raffia and stuff like that. They used leaves and plant fiber and stuff like that to cover themselves.
And since you brought it up again, the togu, I thought that I was told that we're only supposed to wear that for certain ceremonies. That's not something that you wear every day, but yet we're just going and buying it because it's commercialized. So can you elaborate? Is it for ceremonies or is it for any time? Because now I'm lost.
It's for ceremony. Most of the time, it's for ceremony.
Since
like
since it was popularized after the Olympic team wore the togu that last Olympics. Did they wear it this past Olympics?
Which
Did they wear
team?
No,
Which team?
they didn't wear this past Olympic.
The Cameroonian Olympic
team.
And it became very popular.
Korea, Japan. I think it was a Korea, Japan Olympic. Korea, Japan, something like that.
And now it's being sold commercially in markets and in Bamenda and stuff like that. They call it the Bamenda dress. But when you look at the symbolism on the a togu, you could determine whether or not that person is a notable, a king, or whatever. Even the style of cap. No average person can wear, you know, now that it's being commercialized, people wear a togu at different occasions, but you cannot wear certain symbolisms and you cannot wear certain caps with it because they're reserved for notables and kings.
And the cap you have on, women can't wear that, right?
No, they can.
Okay.
They can wear it.
I've seen women wearing it,
Yeah, I want one.
I'm going to Cameroon in January.
So are the colors, is that the blue color, the wood fiber,
it's
the
like
one that you said are traditional?
Blue.
Can you post pictures to this chat forum? As I could send a picture over to it if I'm able to. I'm not sure. Can you post images to the chat forum or no? If not, I could post it to the Grassfields group.
You can.
I think you can.
You can, but only if you have a computer with you.
That's what I was going to say.
You can share it.
I'm using my cell phone right now, so I can't just pull it from my cell phone.
I'm using my cell phone too.
If you can send the images on the link, and I'll be able to share it on the Zoom. I can share it on the computer.
Okay. I'm gonna cut my camera off for a minute and look for an image of the Tikar dress.
I noticed that all of you guys have those hats. I like those hats. It looks like it's crocheted.
Yes.
Yeah. If you see, my hat is different. If I wear my hat, it's so different. The one I have is different. Yeah. Next time
you have
I'll
to post a picture. Yeah, put it on next time.
Yeah.
You have to model it.
Because I have all my stuff. Even when I'm like in February, I might have another introduction back home in January. I'm gonna I'm gonna make a video one during an introduction of myself with the chief.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, if I may say a little thing, my brother, when you spoke about the fact that these women in the Tikar villages, traditionally they wear this fabric and they're topless, pretty much.
Male wear fabric.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about where
the
wrap. Women
they wear the wrap.
Around,
yeah.
And then they're topless, literally, they're topless.
Yeah, that's why it used to be topless.
Yeah, so I want
but
us
now
to
everything changed. They use bra.
Yes, I want us to make sure that people understand that there's a reason for it. It was not because they couldn't design any bra. Okay. Now, when the gangster, when the Neanderthal came and he saw it, he was going crazy. And then these women were taught to always cover it. The reason why it was always exposed, one, it was to promote fertility and also promote like the fact that women are the nurturer of the family. So therefore, that part of their body was secret. So men very young, even in your period of initiation as a boy, you are taught to really have a huge respect on that area of the woman, because from there, that's where you get your first wisdom. This is what they're saying, that your first God is your mother, because through the breastfeeding. So exposing that part of her was not because they were lacking some kind of ingenuity to cover it. I just want to make it clear, because some people think it's because they didn't have they were not smart enough to figure out how to make bras. I know what I'm saying, this brother, because I have discussion with people where they're saying, oh, they go back in my village in Bana, they see some of the elders, people over there eating with their hands. And people are saying, oh, is it because they don't have any fork? Is it because they don't have any spoon? Listen, you give them spoon, fork, they will not eat with it. They eat with their hands, because if you humble yourself and you understand the power of eating with your hand, then you're going to understand
even the
why
taste is different. Even the taste is different.
Thank you. You are more in tune with the food spiritually, and you also have all information about the temperature of the food, because your hands is the most powerful thermal sensors of your body. So these, hello?
Yeah, we can see those dress.
No, keep talking, brother. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, we definitely understand that. So next time, let's say you should go one time to a Bamileke, village, and you're probably going to see these women performing some of the ritual dance, and some of them are going to be topless. So when you look at it, don't look at it with a mindset, oh, wait, how come they're not covered? Like, how come they expose that part of themselves? And if you watch the men that are around, they're never going to lust on them, okay? Because they understand what's being showcased. They understand the value of showcasing exactly that part of the body, right? Because there is a promotion that's going on at that moment, okay, of womanhood and also nurturehood, if I may say so, right? Now, one thing I would like to say about the Tikar or the Bamileke, those stories about the origins, and I keep saying this, brothers and sisters, there are so many versions that we don't have an exact, I would say, solid proof as far as, okay, this is where they come from. But there is something that we have here. Let's go in their tradition, in their original spirituality. Look at how the Tikar do when the twin is born. And look at what the Bamileke do when a twin is born. When an elder, a very influenced elder in the village of the Tikar village is dead, how they perform the ritual, and look at how the Bamileke do. When we have, for instance, somebody in the Tikar village that has been very influencing positively the people in the village, when they elevate him in the village, what are the rituals they do? And go look at what the Bamileke do. Look at these traditional behavior. I'm not talking about nothing that's influenced by Islam or Christianity. I'm talking about the original behavior that they have traditionally. And you're gonna understand that we don't even have to waste time to find out where they come from. But you're gonna understand that we have way more common stuff that we do than differences, right? I'm saying this because I've done that homework, and I see that when somebody, it's like when somebody tell me, oh, I'm from the Northwest region, or I'm Bamenda, or I'm Anglophone. I'm like, okay, what village are you coming from the Northwest? Now the person tell me, and I ask the person, how do you call the king in your language, in your mother tongue? He say, we say in four. Okay, I say, listen, in Fefe, we say in four. What's the difference? See? It's the same thing. Now, and I ask the same person, when you're about to go marry a woman, it's a guy, he's here, he lives in Pennsylvania. I say, in your village, I'm not asking you to tell me anything about Christianity. Tell me traditionally, when you want to marry a woman, what do you do? When he told me the story, I'm like, okay, we do the same thing. It is the same exact thing. So do you think you're different than me now? See, if we talk about the things that we do traditionally, without putting anything, any foreign stuff in it, brothers and sisters, you're going to understand that we don't even have to debate on, where does the Tikar word come from? Who created this village or blah, blah, blah. Listen, just go in the tradition and spirituality and you will see. I just wanted to drop that, you know what I mean? So.
Thank you, brother. Brother Monte. I always felt we are family, and as I said earlier, my DNA results confirm that the Tikars and Bamilikes are one people, or the same people. My results says Bamileke, Tikar, and Hausa. So you have some houses with that same DNA. Bamilikes and I know people who have straight up Tikar results, and I know people that have straight up Bamileke results, and they still have the same genetic haplogroup, which means they both come from the same ancient parents. You know, what group was that? I'm trying to think of it. L3E3B is the haplogroup, the genetic haplogroup. You have Bamilikes and Tikars with that same haplogroup. That says it all right there.
Yes, they say everything.
Yeah.
So multiple people in the group have stated that some Bamilekes are Tikar, but some Tikar are not Bamileke. So now we're saying everybody's Tikar, the end, right? Is that what we're saying now?
Well,
that we can.
What I've always been saying is that we are all family. Always been.
Yes.
There's always been a relation. There's always been a relationship between the Bamileke and Tikar. You know, what people call themselves is really subjective, because there's no such thing as a Bamileke. Bamileke is a made up, a recent word.
Right.
And as we was talking with the elder yesterday, as the elder was saying yesterday, that there were like, what was it, like 11 languages that they speak in West region that they call Bamileke. It has become, Bamileke is a recent creation. You know, you have different tribes over there that are all being called Bamileke.
Bayamgam,
different
Batufa,
languages.
Bachi, Bafang, there's so many. There's so many in West Province. They're all the same.
genetically, they're all related. Culturally, culture changes. You know, for instance, you know, you have a brother like me whose ancestors go back to West and Central Africa. They were kidnapped and forcibly taken in the transatlantic slave trade to Jamaica. My parents were born in Jamaica. You know, my parents moved to America. You know, I was born in New York City. Both of my parents were born in Jamaica. Am I American? Am I Jamaican? What would you call me because I was born in a particular location? All of my siblings were born in Jamaica. I'm the first one born here in America. You know, I was born and raised in a Jamaican household, ate Jamaican food every day. Up to this day, I ate Jamaican food, you know. In my home, they spoke Jamaican patois. Prior to them going to Jamaica, they were coming from places like Nigeria, Congo, Cameroon. You know, those are cultural. Cultural creations that came about later through the transatlantic slave trade, through migrations and stuff like that. But we're all still related. How is it that I can go on one of these DNA websites and find African cousins? You know, a friend of mine who's from Guyana told me that the Maroons were indigenous to Jamaica. And I said, well, the Maroons say that they come from Ghana and all these other different ethnic groups, you know? And so I sent him a screenshot of me and one of my cousins, one of my African cousins. So I said, are you telling me that this brother who is listed on the DNA website as my cousin, that he's not African, that he's indigenous to Jamaica? He was trying to tell me my ancestors were indigenous to Jamaica. How could it be that I have African cousins then? You know, so all of these different things like Bamileke, Tikar, and all those different groups, even in the Northwest, those are different new social constructions. You know, culture and all that stuff is not static, it changes. 20 years from now, the culture in America will be different.
Yeah.
The culture amongst Black Americans today is different from where it was in the 1980s. Even now, a lot of the slang that they're using and a lot of the terms that they're using, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You know, what are you talking about? You know, and even Jamaican patois evolves because, you know, like I said, I grew up in a household that spoke Jamaican patois all day, every day. And even right now, if I call my mother or my brother or anybody, they speak Jamaican patois. But then sometimes I go online, like on social media, and I hear the new slang that wasn't around in the 90s or the 80s. So culture and language kind of changes a little bit. Dialects change a little bit. So Bamileke, Tikar, we all family. That's just my perspective on it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I hope that we will continue to get the group to recognize that and not be so divisive, because I feel like that's where we're headed.
A lot of people, you know, grew up with and they don't know any different because that's all they knew from their village. So when they hear something different, they, you know,
I'm talking about Americans already coming in the group.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Americans coming in the group being divisive, separating Tikar from Bamileke.
Yeah, that's because they don't know. That's because they don't know. That's all.
Yeah, there's no difference.
That's why we have these type of discussions with Bamileke born and Tikar born people, so we could break down these walls of separation that separate us and separate people
Thank
from the
you.
Caribbean, from people from Africa, and all this other type of nonsense. We all the same people. The DNA tests are proving it.
Okay. What are the deities that the Tikar people have? What are the deities they have? Yeah, any indigenous African, tribe or group have the deities that they work with. So what are the ones from the Tikar? I know from the Bamileke, I can list you, but I know the Tikar have. I'm curious to know what are they.
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
So, okay. First, how do you say God? How do you say the Most High God in Tikar language?
God?
Yeah.
God is Vanswap.
Say it again.
Vanswap.
Now, the word, okay, the word that you just say, can you explain what it means? Because
yes,
can you explain what are you saying in English?
Vanswap in English means the king of the darkness, somebody that you cannot see.
Thank you. Stop there.
Because you cannot see God.
Brother, stop there.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just going to make a little demonstration right now. What you just say, I knew exactly that, but I wanted that to come from your mouth.
Yes.
The king of darkness on the Bamileke land, we say in Nsi. In Sisi, it means, in Sinsi means dark, triple darkness. So that God is actually the person who knows the darkness. So you see, what's the difference now? What's the difference?
There's no difference.
Thank you. So end of the conversation.
Yes. So we all the same.
And I keep telling you, if we go in our mother tongue, we go in our ancient spirituality, we look at it, we're going to stop debating Tikar Bamileke. We're going to stop this debate because it's just, to me, it's a waste of time.
To me, it was never a debate for me. I was always trying to get Bamilekes and Tikars to see that they were the same. And a lot of them already knew that they were the same. But then you have a lot of divisiveness, like Sister Zenobia said. And these are people who are just learning their ancestry through African ancestry results. And I'm on their Facebook page and their forum, and you see it all day. Everybody repping their particular ethnic group, and I know they're proud of learning their ancestry and everything. But that's where you have a lot of the tribalism debates and fights come up in those type of forums.
Right. Yeah. I get that, but what I just did right now is to help us how to answer to that. There's no way we're going to find an answer if we are ignorant of the spirituality of the Tikar and the Bamileke. When I asked about the deities, I was trying to see what are the branches of God, like of the person, or we say the life force that's controlling everything in nature coming from darkness.
I totally understand.
For my brother to tell me how they call that principle, and now I see in the Bamileke, when we look at that principle, how it's the same, end of the debate. So that person who's trying to
there's no debate at all.
That person who's trying to be divisive, I'm going to shut down the debate right there with what I just did. So I think what I did is also to help us, next time that somebody comes with that foolishness, we just go there. Okay, tell me how you call God. And then you tell me how you call God in your language. And then I say, okay, what does that mean? Exactly as our brother Thomas just did. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to tell you how we're saying it too. And I'm going to tell you what that means. Now, what's the difference? See, that's how you end the debate. But if we are,
you know what, too? Like I said, it comes from a lot of people who grew up in a particular village. They're automatically going to challenge things that they've never heard. If you go on a Bamileke, I'm a member of some Bamileke pages, and you can see it all in the comments, and it's mainly coming from the younger people. I'm talking about people like in their 20s, on down.
Yeah,
You
because
know, a
they
lot of
don't
them,
know.
they don't know any better.
Yeah,
They don't know.
they're Christian,
know.
they're Christian and Muslim. I have nothing against them, but they don't know the tradition.
No.
They don't know the spirituality of Bamileke. So they're gonna say what they're gonna say.
And you know what? I even see young Bamilikes disrespecting the traditions, the culture and the traditions in favor of Christianity. Like, you know, making comments like, why are you still doing this or still doing that? Like the cult of the skulls and all those different things that our ancestors practice. I've seen
The person
young
doesn't know what
Bamilikes,
he's doing.
I've seen young Bamilikes belittling that.
But let me tell you something, brother. The same people who are criticizing that, when they sick and they cannot get cured in the hospital,
Yeah, they go
come
back.
at night to see us.
Yes.
They come at night to consult with us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, we see them.
Even in the Caribbean, amongst Jamaicans and so on and so forth, they say they church going, God fearing people, but then let something serious happen, they want to go to the Obia man. For the reading, you know, or for some spiritual help to get some type of spiritual bath or get some type of spiritual work done.
Thank you.
But they don't tell you. Okay. They don't tell you. They come back and say, "I'm a praying person. I do this and do that, and I'm a Christian person." But let something go down. They go on to look for some spiritual work to get some type of spiritual cleansing done the traditional way.
Yeah, they do this all the time. So I guess what we can take away from this is that that's just my viewpoint is just to be a little bit knowledgeable, more knowledgeable exactly the demonstration that our brother Tomas just did right now. These are the things that I'm interested to. Now, when he calls God, he tells us the meaning. And then from there, if he might even research, he's going to find out what are the deities that are in there that the Tikar people use. For instance, when the rain is not coming, what is the deity that the Tikar connect to? How they call that deity? That's what you must go and find out. That's my advice to you. And then you will see the magic happen.
Now, check this out. My whole purpose of doing this Zoom meeting with the brother Thomas was not about clarifying anything between the Bamilikes and the Tikars. This was to give people more information about the Tikars that live by the Mampe and the Bam River. And the generalized term being used as Tikar to that's being applied to different people who speak different languages. That was, you know, the purpose, to educate people who have Tikar results about the Tikar people. You know, it wasn't anything, it wasn't about Bamileke and Tikar, because like I mentioned before, a lot of people think this is Tikar traditional dress. This is not Tikar traditional dress.
Yeah.
Tikar and Ban Kim does not speak the same language as somebody who calls themselves a Tikar in the Northwest. Yes, they speak different languages. They have different government systems. And I wanted this to be an educational moment for people who receive Tikar results. This wasn't about a debate between Bamileke and Tikar and their relationship and everything like that. But that question always comes up. You know, I want to educate those who receive Tikar results to know the difference between a Northwest Tikar and a Tikar by the Mampe or the Bam River. They don't wear togas over there. You never or rarely see a Tikar king over there wearing a toga. This is not what they wear. But it is acceptable there. And just like the endop cloth is acceptable there, but that's not what Tikars wear. They have different, they speak different languages, they have different government systems that they use in their chiefdoms. You know, I wanted everybody to be educated on the Tikar people, you know. That was the purpose of it, not any Bamileke Tikar debate or anything like that.
Okay,
Beautiful.
brothers. I'm so happy. I'm sad I might need to drive a little bit.
Thank you for your time,
Yeah.
Brother Thomas.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's been a great
always a
discussion
pleasure.
once again. I hope I've learned some things as well. As I always said, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know some things, but I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You know, I'm always open to learn. I've learned a few things today.
Yeah.
And
Me as well, I learned a lot.
Thank you, Brother Thomas, for coming out and talking with everybody. Thank you, Brother Vincent.
I'm always available, you know, anytime.
Brother Vincent and Brother Monte, I'm sorry, Brother Monte, for your contributions. I always learn something with you guys in the mix of the discussion, you know. And we're gonna continue learning in the weeks to come.
Yeah.
And Brother Thomas, I invite you to join the Grassfields group. Even if you're not in there every day, you can pop in every once in a while and just read the discussions that they have going on in there. It's
so
very.
You're gonna send me the link, right?
Yes, I'll invite you to the group.
Okay, no problem.
And maybe in the future we can collaborate. You know, we could get some collaboration going on with Brother Vincent, Brother Monte, and you. We're getting some of the some reconnection going with some of the kings in the Tikar plain and the Bamileke kings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With some of the people seeking reconnection.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time and everything. Thank you. You appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish everybody a
Thank you.
blessed
It was
night.
really good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And if
Have a
any
good
of you
night.
have,
Thank you.
if any of you have any questions in the future, if you forward those questions to me, if I can't answer them, I'll try to get answers from, if not Thomas, other Tikars. I know plenty Tikar notables and so on and so forth that I go to get answers. Thank you all again.
I have one
have
other
a blessed
question,
night.
Michael. Where do they
You have any
buy
more
the
questions?
where do they buy Tikar the Tikar clothing for women and head wraps? Where would they buy that?
You can get it at any market in Douala. If you go like Douala or Yaoundé, they have markets where you can buy the Togo. If you, as I said earlier, you could buy the endop cloth. You could buy clothing, and you could usually find that in the West region, in the Bamileke region.
So you can't do it online. You have to actually physically go there.
You could find Togo online. I've seen some places on what is it, Etsy? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
There's places online that sell the Togo dress.
I don't want
For
no
the
fake
fabric.
Sister Pamela, if you send me
Yes.
a measurement, I've known somebody in London. She can actually post it. That'll be faster for you. And again, she got different size, so you can actually, if you send me your size and everything, I'll take it to the, and then she's gonna collect with you directly, and then she'll be able to shift the whole thing to your place. That'll probably be less than a week to have it.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have a question. It's not Tikar related. Brother Monty, you asked about the deities. Does that mean, are the deities for Bamileke or Tikar, are they sacred and not publicized information?
Well, as far as the Tikar aspect is concerned, like he said, I'm going to send the name to the I'm not sure if I'm going to spell it correctly, to the chat group. It's Maving Swap. You know, that's the deity that the Tikars deal with, and they deal with ancestral worship. I've never seen any other deity mentioned beside Maving Swap among the Tikars. You know, they may have different terminology, like what the brother Monte was discussing, and but Maving Swap is the name that they use for the creator, and it goes, the root meaning is, like they said, coming out of the ruler of the darkness. The ruler
What
of
about
the darkness.
Bamileke?
You'd have, Brother Monte would be more qualified to answer that question, Monte,
Okay.
or Brother Vincent.
Okay,
What was the question again?
who are the deities for Bamileke and Tikar?
The
Is it public or is it something that's not spoken out loud?
The Bamileke we consider the Bamileke god is called Si or Sia.
Well, I read that was what we call God. So you're saying that's the only deity? Just God overall?
Again, I need to go back to Brother Monte for that because I don't really know myself. I know that we call God Sia, you know, so that's how we call it. But in terms of I need to go back to Brother Monte.
The Tikar, as far as I know, don't have multiple deities.
Okay.
They call on they pay reverence to their ancestors.
Okay.
You know, they do, you know, what as people would say, ancestral worship. They don't have like multiple deities that like they go to. Even some ethnic groups like the Yorubas and all of that, all of those different Orishas are ancestors. Obatala was once a living person that walked the earth.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this for others who are on the forum. They're not multiple deities that exist out there with each other. They, you know, Moving Swap is the only deity that the Tikars worship, or that they call upon. They mostly do ancestral worship, as a way to put it. I'd say a better way is ancestral reverence to the ancestors. They communicate, pour libations, and make offerings to the ancestors. They don't have like multiple deities that they worship. Most shrines in Benin, Nigeria, and all those places, those shrines are being set up to ancestors, not competing deities in the sky. Like the concept that we have of God. There's not multiple gods. You know, it's one God, and we pay homage to the ancestors.
Good. So,
all right. Can we close out? Does anybody have anything else they want to add, or another question? Does anybody want to close us out with a prayer? Is the sister on that usually closes us out? Is she on today? All right, y'all. Thank you all for another great session. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. You do the same.
You do the
guys,
same.
bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.